Well, hello everyone, I'm Yeti from BU Gaming, and today we are back in Aviary Attorney. So let's head off to the bibliothèque. The humble hidden library contains a formidable collection of rare books and manuscripts, so hopefully we can find some help here with our investigation. Here for a little light reading, are we? Not quite, Sparrowson. I'm following the hunting beagle's advice. Don't eat poisoned pork. The other piece of advice that if we want to learn about a member of royalty, we should hit the library. Oh, that makes sense. Hey, Falcon, I've been meaning to ask, since we're in a library and all, are you a classic literature fan or do you prefer more modern works? I like the classics, Alain René Lesage, Crébillon, Bills, that sort of thing. Don't try to act smart. I saw you reading that book of naughty limericks the other day. You didn't think I would notice because you put a dull-looking slipcover over it, but I knew, Falcon. I knew. Would you messieurs mind lowering your voices? I can hear you squawking from the other side of the building. Ah, my apologies, monsieur. We'll keep it down. Wait, you're a librarian, aren't you? An astute observation. Yes, monsieur. As the only quiet person in a library, I'm most assuredly the librarian. Well, now that we have your attention, my friend wants to ask you something. I do? Oh, right, I do. You seem like a scholarly, well-read individual. I'm sure you're up to date on geopolitical news and the like. I don't need your praise. Spit out whatever imbecilic question is in the back of your throat. Oh, well, we understand that the Spanish throne is currently under dispute. Can you give us a brief rundown on who the contenders are? What a trivial question. Even an elementary school child can name the immediate heirs to every throne in Europe. Yeah, but for the sake of those children who slept through that class, can you refresh our memories? Very well. Pay attention, because I'm not repeating myself. The current reigning monarch of Spain is Queen Regnant Isabella II of the House of Bourbon, daughter of King Ferdinand VII. Upon her death, the crown would likely fall to her husband, King Consort Francis, Duke of Cadiz. Although it is certainly possible that an immediate family member could stake a claim. However, the Queen's position is currently being disputed by the Carlists, headed by the Count of Montemolin. I hope that answers your question. Did you catch all of that, Sparrowson? Not a word. Monsieur, we're actually interested in a Prince Juan Querido of Spain. I don't think I heard that name in your explanation. A prince? Juan Querido? Is that what you said? Monsieur, I think you've been misinformed. There is no current Prince of Spain, and I'm not even sure Querido is a real name. It is certainly no line of any Spanish monarchy. How strange. What does this mean, Falcon? Well, one thing is for sure. Our client is not the Prince of Spain. Maybe he's a delusional lunatic, or perhaps he's involving us in some sort of con. We don't have long before the trial, but it may be in our interest to confront Prince Juan directly and get some answers. Right. Are you two quite done chit-chatting? I bought this book from a friend. What can you tell us about it? Don Quixote of La Mancha? It's a classic. Everybody has read it. Yeah, everybody. But for those who haven't? I'm not going to sit here and summarize a great work of literature for two imbeciles who are too lazy to read. Nor would I expect you to, monsieur, but what can you tell us about the physical book itself? This particular book didn't come from any library, if that's what you're asking. See, there's no library stamp or card. I assume it was acquired from a bookshop, a French bookshop, if the French translation and publishing information wasn't a giveaway. I see, thank you. Did you have any other questions, or can I get back to work? Okay, that's all. Don't worry, monsieur. I think we're done here. Thanks for your time. Then I bid you good day. But now it's a new day, so are we completely out of time, or do we have more time? Yeah, I guess we have more time. So, well, let's go back and talk to our prince, if we can. Falcon, what are you doing? It's trial day. We have a Spanish prince to defend. Oh, right. What was I thinking? Oh, okay. I thought we could talk to him, but no. Well, if it's trial day, then I guess there's nothing else we can do but to actually go and well, I guess we need to go here. Once again, Falcon and Sparrowson find themselves waiting outside the doors of the Tribunal de Grande Instance. Are you feeling nervous, Falcon? Don't go silent on me now. Senor Falcon, I trust everything is in order. Absolutely, I have every intention of bringing the truth to light in this trial. Ah, such confidence, that's magnificent to see. And bringing the truth to light, you say, an admirable goal. No more jousting at imaginary giants. All of you, cease your yammering. The door is opening. Here we go. Buenos suerte, Senor Falcon. We will. Are we ready? We are ready. Are we? I don't feel ready at all. Oh, this is gonna go so bad. Yeti? Severin? Nervous? Why would I be nervous? I'm not nervous. I'm as calm as a cuckoo. You're the nervous one. This whole courtroom is nervous. Whoa, cool your feathers, Falcon. Elbow, you can't even maintain a stoic facade. I thought this trial would be the perfect opportunity for you to redeem your previous embarrassments. But if this is how you act before the trial has even started? Why, you pompous tail, posture perfect. Order, order, let's all settle down. Court is now in session. Psst, Falcon. What is it? Is it me, or does the primary judge look hairier today? That's a different judge to the one who resided over Dame Catalin's trial, you doofus. Oh, still, it's a little strange, isn't it? Well, he looks like one of the guys in that cinematic we saw, doesn't he? A little. It is a little, I suppose. Excuse me, Your Honor. I was under the impression that Judge Maxim would be residing over this case. Where is he? Judge Maxim has gone on temporary sick leave due to a terrible accident with a flight of stairs. But rest assured, assessors, prosecutor, defense, and members of the jury that I am more than qualified to fill his shoes. Without further ado, let's get this show underway. This is the trial of Prince Juan Querido, who stands accused of murdering Major Howl and of conspiring to murder the king himself. Roll call. The defense is present and ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Good. Very good. I expect this to be a nice, speedy trial. I don't want to see this dragged out by technicalities and bureaucracy. Well said, Your Honor. I expect that once the court sees the overwhelming evidence, this trial will be over in 5 minutes. 5 minutes? He's just messing with your head, Falcon. Keep it together. So we are all on the same page. Excellent. Prosecutor, please call your first witness to the stand. Very well. I call the police officer who investigated the crime scene. I call upon Inspector Just Volerti. Step up to the stand, Inspector, and recite the oath. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Please recite your name and occupation for the court record. My name is Inspector Just Volerci. I'm a servant to the law, a scourge of the gutter rats. That will do, Inspector. We've all heard your monologue before. Whoa, Cocorico really is going for a speed record, isn't he? Now, can you tell us what you witnessed on the morning of the 7th of January? Of course. At 10 o'clock in the morning, I was called to the Louvre's Grand Gallery by one of the King's Royal Guards. Did he just say o'clock? There I saw Prince Juan, King Louis Philippe, the corpse of Major Howell with a rose in hand and around 24 citizens. The citizens and the king himself all attest to seeing Major Howell taking the rose from Prince Juan's hand and then promptly dropping dead. And what did the morgue uncover upon examination of the corpse? The coroner determined with absolute certainty that Major Howell died of poisoning. Aside from a prick upon the finger, there was no sign of external harm to Major Howell's body. Therefore, the poisoned rose must have been the cause of death. Putting the pieces together, that does seem very implicative of the prince. I have no further questions. Damn, I was hoping that the coroner's report would determine that the guy died from a freak heart attack or something. That would make for a particularly speedy trial, wouldn't it? But no, we aren't so lucky. Something else must be amiss in the old bird's testimony. Right, I'll tear it apart. Your Honor, I wish to cross-examine the witness. Falcon, wasn't it? Don't waste the court's time. A high-ranking police officer would never lie on the witness stand. I wouldn't accuse the inspector of lying, I just want to make sure that every base is properly covered. Ugh, this sounds like pointless nitpicking to me, but I'll allow it, for now. Go on, Falcon, do your cross-examination. Okay, so select a statement to question. Well, statement. It doesn't really show me any statements, does it? But okay, we can ask about stuff here. Well, we could ask him about this, but I'm thinking, can we bring this up? No. Can we bring this up? No. Oh, okay. I had to click on this to bring up the statement, actually. Okay, so at 10 o'clock, I didn't even read it like that in the morning. I was called to Louvre's Grand Gallery. Okay, so we can ask about Major Howell. Well, we all know that that is true. And around 24 citizens died of poisoning. Inspector, you say that the coroner determined with certainty that Major Howell was killed by poison. Correct? He stated the signs and symptoms were textbook. There is no possibility that his death was natural. Did the coroner mention specifically what kind of poison it was? He was not certain. At first, the coroner posited that it was a plant-borne poison like that of the aconite flower. But when he learned how fast the poison had taken effect, he noted that this was atypical of aconite. Consequently, he suggested that it may have been some newly engineered concoction. A newly engineered poison, you say? Well, that only reaffirms that this was a very deliberate assassination attempt. Indeed. Do you have another question about the poison? Yes. Well, we already know this, actually. How exactly was Major Howell poisoned? What was the delivery mechanism? His finger was pricked by the poisoned rose. He even commented out loud about it seconds before dying. All 22 citizens who witnessed the murder attested to seeing and hearing this. Is there any possibility that he was poisoned by something else? What an absurd thing to ask, JJ. You just heard that 22 people saw the victim prick his finger and die. What are you suggesting? That the pricked finger had no relation to the poisoning? That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't doubt that Major Howell was poisoned, but I do doubt that the rose was the cause. Unbelievable! Only a total buffoon could fail to draw the blatant link here. JJ, as tempting as it is to sit here and lecture you on the basics of cause and effect, I'll end this discussion painlessly. Inspector, please tell the defense that you found traces of poison on the thorns of the rose itself. That should alleviate all doubt that the rose was, in fact, the poison delivery mechanism. Actually, I can't tell him that. I dread to ask, but why not? We didn't check the rose for traces of poison. It just seemed obvious that the rose caused the poisoning, given the timing of the incident. Well then, now would be a good time to make a test. Here's a marvelous thought. We prick the finger of the defendant with the rose. If there's no poison on the rose, then Prince Juan lives and he is free to go. If the rose is poisoned, then the prince dies, but that's okay because the punishment would be just and fitting of the crime. Oh wow. A marvelous suggestion. What is this? A witch trial? This isn't America, Severin. That's not how we do things here. Calm your feathers, JJ. It was clearly a joke. Yeah, there are far more humane ways of testing for poison. I'm sure the inspector will perform his duty with due diligence. Actually, we won't be able to test the rose for poison at all. Why is that? Given the dangerous nature of the flower, it was destroyed by the police force. We burned it to ashes. Such unprofessionalism. If we have no way to know whether the rose was poisoned, then this whole trial ought to be called into question. I tried, JJ, but through the process of reasoning by elimination, we can still deduce with absolute certainty that the rose was poisoned. In other words, there was nothing else at the crime scene that could have caused the poisoning. Wrong! There was something else at the crime scene that could have contained the poison, something the investigative police blindly overlooked. Look at this! What am I supposed to be looking at? It is the paper wrapper to a piece of chocolate. It was found in the Louvre, the Salle du Tibre to be precise, and we can date its consumption to the day of the incident. You're not suggesting that Major Howell ate a piece of poisoned chocolate moments before he died? I most certainly am. Intriguing, pretty convincing. You gained a little favor with the jury. Did you see this wrapper at the crime scene for yourself, Inspector? The police force does not have the time nor resources to trawl every piece of trash at every crime scene, I'm afraid. In other words, you overlooked it. Astounding unprofessionalism. The prosecution is right to be disgusted. What a disgraceful display, Inspector. I offer my apologies, Your Honor. I don't want your apologies. I want you to do your damn job properly. Get off the witness podium before I kick you off myself. As you wish, I'll take my leave. Until next time, messieurs. So let me get this straight. This chocolate wrapper was found at the crime scene. Correct. And you have reason to believe that it was consumed on the day of the incident? I do. I have an expert food tasting witness who is willing to testify if need be. You have a foodie witness? I don't recall anyone like that. Who on earth are you talking about, Falcon? Oh, I see. But do you know for certain that Major Howell consumed this chocolate? Well, that is a fact that we're still investigating. I see. And do you have evidence that this chocolate was in fact poisoned? Again, that is something that may require a little more time to definitively prove. So then, in actuality, you do not have evidence that Major Howell consumed some poisoned chocolate. Instead, you have a solitary piece of rubbish that you plucked straight out of the gutter. That's weak, even for you, JJ. Let's move things along. I have another witness I would like to summon. He is a man who claims to have had an excellent view of the people going in and out of the Louvre at the time of the incident. I call upon Monsieur Toussaint Kingsley. Could the witness please approach the stand and recite the oath? Hello, 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 hello. Oh, right. The oath. Oh, I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Please state your full name and occupation for the court record. My name is Tusan Kingley, and I'm a person who fishes. A person who fishes, so you are a fisherman. Oh, is that how it is? I thought the French justice system was better than this. I beg your pardon? Here comes Tusan Kingley, the kingfisher. Clearly, he must be a fisherman, because, didn't you hear? All kingfishers are fishermen. Well, you're carrying a fishing rod. And, can a man not carry a fishing rod, reel and bait without being branded a fisherman? Look, the prosecutor is carrying a riding crop. Clearly, he must be a horse jockey. Oh, for pity's sake. Fine, we can list your occupation as person who fishes and not fisherman. Thank you. Actually, why do you carry a riding crop, Severin? I've never seen you ride a horse. I don't know, JJ. Why do you, a 30-something-year-old with no health problems, carry a cane? This is veering quite far off the course. Could the prosecution please get back to his questions? Of course, Your Honor. Monsieur Kingley, is it true that you were nearby the Louvre at the time of the incident? Yes, I was sitting upon a railing of the Pont des Arts. The Pont des Arts? That's the new bridge that's just a stone's throw from the Louvre's south entrance, right? That's right. And what were you doing at the time of the incident? I was fishing. Psst. Kingfishers, am I right, Falcon? So you would have had plenty of opportunity to see the people who entered and exited the palace. Can you tell us who you saw? Well, the Louvre's a busy place. Naturally, I saw a lot of people. But at 9 a.m. I saw the king, Louis Philippe himself, enter the building. He was surrounded by his entourage, of course. Then around 9:30 a.m. I saw this shifty-looking fox lurking around the entrance. Your Honor, I object to the witness's use of the term shifty-looking. It's a vague and biased description. No, really, he looked super shifty. I saw him rubbing his paws and cackling gleefully. And then I saw him take out a rose and carefully rub the stem. Rub the stem of a rose, you say, as if he were applying something to the flower, perhaps? Well, monsieur, I really shouldn't speculate. Of course, it was wrong of me to ask such a leading question. But yeah, it definitely looked like he was putting some sort of powder on the stem. Whoa, even I wasn't expecting such a bold admission. Members of the court, it sounds like what we have here is a direct witnessing of the defendant readying the murder weapon. The defense claims that the rose was never poisoned, and yet here we have a man who saw the poison with his own eyes. I smell perjury. You do? No question. He saw a shifty-looking criminal readying poison and cackling near the scene of the crime? That's not believable at all. I think you might be right. I wonder if I have any evidence that calls Toussaint's story into doubt. Your Honor, I would like to cross-examine the witness. Really? This nonsense again. You just heard the witness directly describe your client readying poison on a rose. What is there to question? I'm just trying to uncover the truth, Your Honor. Ugh. Fine. Do your thing. Go on, Falcon. Go make a fool out of yourself. Okay, we can see where he was sitting. Then there's all the people. Oh, this is what I want to talk about. Monsieur Kingley, you claim that you saw a shifty-looking fox. Yep, super mega shifty. There must be at least 100 foxes in Paris. How do you know that the fox you saw was Prince Juan? Well, he was wearing a suave hat that hung low over his eyes. I hear that's how they wear them in Spain. And I'm not much of a fashion expert, but the rest of his outfit looked quite out of place for the French winter. Is that all you're going by? His fashion sense? Oh, I nearly forgot. I heard him call a passerby Seigneur. I thought that was peculiar. Well, that's him all right. Do you have another question about the shifty-looking fox? Can we show him a picture, actually? That would be kind of nice. That's not a valid testimony. All foxes are shifty-looking by default. Whoa, that's not cool. Monsieur JJ, it's the 19th century. You can't just throw out slurs like that in this day and age. I'm just saying, no, you listen. France is better than this. We've moved past our need to hold back animals we don't like through the use of oppressive stereotypes. Well said, prosecutor. Slurs are archaic. Now we as a society can hold back animals we don't like through much more subtle institutional means. Right. Wait, what? Do you have another question about the shifty-looking fox? Okay, I guess we don't. I thought maybe we could show like a picture of him, but I guess that's not really a thing. Monsieur Kingsley, you say that you saw a fox rubbing the stem of a rose. Yep, saw it with my own eyes. Are you certain that the fox was handling a rose and not some other type of flower? Pretty sure. The red petals stand out quite nicely on a grey January morning. So you're confident, you're absolutely sure that you clearly saw a bright red flower in the fox's hands. What are you getting at, JJ? I have reason to believe that Prince Juan did not possess a rose at all. I think that he may have been in possession of a sprig of monkshood. Or even just a simple daisy. Really? You're claiming that Prince Juan did not possess a rose despite 22 witnesses testified to seeing him handing a rose to the king. This is a ludicrous line of inquiry. There is zero doubt that Prince Juan possessed a rose on the day of the murder. Agreed. Defense, knock it off with this moronic way of thinking. They are stalling. What a buffoon. We lost some favor. Okay, no. Never mind, I have no more questions about the poisoned rose. Okay, then he's asked about, yep. This one. How far away were you from the south entrance? 20 meters, perhaps? 30? I'm somewhat doubtful that you can make out powder being applied to anything at those sort of distances. Monsieur, I don't claim to have seen the powder itself. I said that it looked like he was applying powder to the flower stem. It could have been a wax or a liquid or whatever, but the guy was definitely putting something on the flower. I see. Well, that's nice and vague. No. Well, I don't really see a problem with that, but maybe we can find something out about people. Monsieur Kingsley, you say that you saw the king himself enter the Louvre. Indeed, I did. Who did you see in the king's entourage? Well, there was the king himself, obviously. And then there were quite a few guards, maybe 4 or 5, including a big dog who I hear is the guy who died, Major Howl. I think that was all. I see. Do you have another question about the king's arrival? It is to my understanding that the king does most of his work in the Palais Royal, which lies to the north of the Louvre. So it's a little strange that you saw the king enter from a south entrance, is it not? I know what I saw, monsieur. JJ, there's little reason to doubt that the king entered the Louvre from the south. Are you really calling this basic fact into question? Absolutely. It doesn't make a lick of sense. Why would the king walk from the Palais Royal all the way around to the other side of the Louvre just to enter via the south? Simple. The king wasn't walking from the Palais Royal. He was walking from the Hotel de Ville, where he had some business to attend to. As you probably know, it's simple to reach the Louvre's south entrance from the Hotel de Ville via a brief stroll along the Seine. He came from the Hotel de Ville. Yes, a single minute of fact-checking would have cleared that up. Oh. You're looking pretty foolish, Defense. Perhaps it's time to throw in the towel. This trial is a farce. Guilty for sure. Oh boy, we lost some favor again. No. Well, we kind of asked about these. Should we ask about this too? Monsieur Kingsley, you say that you were sitting upon the railings of the Pont des Arts on the morning of the incident. Yep. Monsieur Kingsley, you had a good view of the Louvre's south entrance, didn't you? Yep. The Pont des Arts is a great vantage point for seeing the Grand Gallery's south side. What about the other entrances? The other entrances? You mean like if you're entering from Tuileries Gardens or the Place du Carrousel? No, I couldn't possibly see those areas from the bridge. But of course, that isn't relevant. Monsieur Kingsley witnessed Prince Juan entering the south entrance with flower in hand, and that's what counts. What if Prince Juan didn't enter from the south entrance? What if he approached the Louvre from Tuileries Gardens to the west? That's a big what if. Do you have any evidence that Prince Juan entered the Louvre from the Tuileries Gardens? As a matter of fact, yes I do. I have definitive proof that Prince Juan approached from the west, not the south. Hey, I know what I saw, monsieur. I'm doubtful too. Go on, JJ, show us this definitive proof that Prince Juan entered from the Louvre from Tuileries Gardens. Look at this. A book page. Page 44 of Don Quixote specifically. It was found just outside the Louvre's west entrance. This proves nothing. I'm not done yet. Take a look at this. Don Quixote. This is the book Prince Juan has been reading in jail since his arrest. I believe he has had it on his person for some time. And yes, page 44 is missing. That was the first thing I checked. You do realize what this means, don't you, Severin? The defendant was present in Tuileries Gardens prior to entering the Louvre. This also means that, in all likelihood, the defendant entered the Louvre from the west entrance, not the south. He could not possibly have been seen by Monsieur Kingsley from the Pont des Arts. What? I know what I saw, monsieur. A fine theory, Falcon, but maybe the defendant took the long way around. One can still travel from Tuileries to the Louvre's south entrance by walking along the river. An extra 2 kilometers of walking just to enjoy the pre-murder scenery. Let's not say silly things, Cocorico. Okay, maybe the defendant deliberately left the page there to mislead the investigation. Now you're the one who's blindly speculating. It's not blind speculation, it's a viable hypothesis. You're fond of logic, aren't you, Cocorico? Let's talk about Occam's razor. When torn between two seemingly equal hypotheses, we must side with the one that imposes the fewest assumptions. Which of these theories takes fewer assumptions? 1. The page from Prince Juan's book fell out on his way to the Louvre's south entrance. 2. Prince Juan deliberately planted the page on the off chance that it would be discovered, then he took the long way around. How dare you! The nerve of you to lecture me on such basic philosophical concepts. I'll stop lecturing you when you stop making such basic mistakes. Monsieur Falcon, please calm yourself. What is the point of all this yammering? The ultimate point is that Toussaint's testimony is fabricated, made up, utter fiction. No, everything I've said is the truth. I suspect that the witness isn't even a fisherman. I'm not a fisherman. See, he admits it himself. That's not what I meant. Innocent, perhaps? What a twist. Oh, we gained some favor again. Cool. Prosecutor, you have something that will put this arrogant Falcon in his place, don't you? I must concede. You concede? On this point, at least, Falcon's evidence strongly suggests that the key component of Monsieur Kingsley's testimony is false. Ah, no! This doesn't mean that Prince Juan is innocent, of course. All Falcon has demonstrated is that this particular witness is unreliable. But I did see something. I really did. Alright, so maybe I didn't exactly see a shifty-looking fox. I made that part of the story up. But I did see a swan lurking around the south entrance on the morning of the murder. A swan? You shut up, witness. Your word is mud at this point. How can we possibly trust anything you have to say? Your Honor? Judge Rumulus, we are out of time. We're 10 minutes overdue to start on the Hare versus Tortuous trial. It's that late already? Curses. I was hoping we could have the case wrapped up in a single trial session. It's a shame, but ultimately an accurate sentencing is always preferable to a speedy sentencing. Yes, alright, I don't need to hear your moralizing. Court will resume this Friday, the 21st of January at 9 o'clock. Don't be late. Prosecutor, do your damn job. Get the stupid fox a conviction already. I'll do my best to ensure that justice is served, Your Honor. A lot came up in that trial, huh? Yeah, no doubt about that. But something's bothering me. Why would that fisherman guy, Monsieur Kingley, lie on the witness stand? Maybe he wanted his minute in the spotlight. Some people say and do strange things to get attention. Oh, you think that was it? I assumed something more heinous was going on. Let's keep an open mind. Anything is possible at this stage. But to be perfectly honest, something else is bothering me about the trial. Judge Rumulus, he's acting without a shred of professionalism. He's obviously more interested in securing a guilty verdict than he is in discovering the truth. But why? Maybe he has a vendetta against Spanish royalty. I'm not so sure. There must be something else at work here. Excuse me? Excuse me, Monsieur Falcon. Sorry to bother you, but this letter just arrived. I think it's for you. A letter for me? I wonder why it wasn't sent to my office. Have you been demoted to courier status, Rupert? Oh, hush, hush, Sparrowson. I don't need to be pitied by a first-year dropout. Oh, good comeback. So what does the letter say, Falcon? It's a threat. A threat made with cut-out newspaper letters. Whoa, I didn't know those things actually existed. Let me see. Falcon. Stop your investigation or there will be consequences. Scary. There is no question that this letter originated from Major Howell's murderer. He or she must be aware that we're getting close to uncovering the truth. Sounds about right, but why would a person write with cut-out newspaper letters like this? Masking one's handwriting would be the most common reason. Although I can't help but wonder why they would bother since we don't have any handwriting samples to compare it to. We're still going ahead with our investigation though, right? Oh yes, absolutely. If a lawyer were deterred every time they received a threatening letter, they would never get any work done. Besides, with only 3 days before the next trial session, we can't afford to be worrying about petty things like this. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Whoa, you're right. Let's make those days count. Okay, well, that was interesting that we actually got to have like a second round to find more evidence. Okay, well, we're gonna start doing that next time, guys. So thank you for watching. And as always, do take care and happy gaming.